Official Mathematics channel. On previous episode, we have looked at the factorization method by using computing the square. But anyway, do you know what's the purpose of computing the square? Actually, we can sketch the quadratic graph by using this method. In this episode, I'm going to show you how can we sketch the graph by using computing the square. Without further ado, let's look at the following example. Alright, let's get started now. So let's have some recap on factorization involving computing the square this method, right? Let's look at the first question here. X squared minus 3x plus 1, alright? For those who are not familiar on computing the square this method, you all might refer back to the previous episode to have better understanding on this concept, right? So how do we start this here? So actually, the first step here, we must make sure the coefficient of x squared is always equals to positive 1, right? In this case, it is already positive 1, right? So hence, we can start to apply the formula, right? So we can write the bracket square outside here, right? So x minus, okay, this part, 3 we need to divide by 2, okay? So the formula is need to divide the middle part with 2, right? So 3 over 2, we may write this in decimal. As we know, 3 over 2 is 1.5, right? So hence, so square after square is always minus, followed by minus. Then 1.5 square is equals to 2.25. Then the last part here, positive 1, just add it on. Okay, then next step, you may simplify the whole expression. Negative 2.25 plus 1 will give us negative 1.25, right? Okay, so hence we need to determine the point here. Okay, so this graph, whether this graph is in minimum point or maximum point, right? So to determine the maximum or minimum point, we need to see the coefficient of x squared again, right? In this case, it is positive. So when people are positive, then they will feel happy, right? So if they feel happy, then they will have smiley face, right? So with this smiley face, and the point here actually is at the lowest point. So hence, this is a minimum point, right? Minimum point. And how do we find the coordinate of x? Actually, we can make this x minus 1.5 equals 0, right? So if we make it become 0, we'll get x equals to 1.5, right? And next part, this is our y, negative 1.25, right? Next, we need to determine the y-intercept. In this case, positive 1 is our y-intercept, right? Once we got these two values, then we can start to draw the graph, right? So let's get started now. So we have the y-axis and the x-axis here, right? 0, and the minimum point is 1.5, let's say somewhere here, and the y coordinate is negative 1.25, right? And we may draw the dotted line here to represent the line of symmetry, right? Line of symmetry will split the graph into two equal parts, right? So next we need to plot the lowest point here, and our y-intercept is positive 1, so then we just draw it, right? Draw the U shape, passes through the 1 here. Alright, let's get started now. Alright, so this is our graph of x squared minus 3x plus 1, right? Next part, I would like to show you how can we find the x coordinate of these 2 points, yeah? Okay, so as we know, the coordinate of this is x, right? X we have no idea, right? So we just put it as x, okay? But we can know the value of y, right? So this coordinate, the y value will be 0, right? And meanwhile, for this coordinate, the x doesn't know, it's unknown, but we know the y value, which is 0. So hence, we can make one conclusion, which is when it touches the x-axis, then the conclusion is y equals 0. Okay, so hence we can make this whole equation become 0, right? So we can write as x squared minus 3x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, and this part, which is this one, right? So we can take this one.
actually. We can take x minus 1.5 squared minus 1.25 equals 0. Then we slowly make our x as our subject, right? So we bring it over, become 1.25, and hence we get x minus 1.5 equals to plus minus square root of 1.25. Then you might type this in your calculator. You will get x equals to 2.62 or 0.382. Alright, so as we know, 2.62 is on our right hand side, so this value is 2.62. Meanwhile, the left value will be 0.382. Right? So here is the complete graph. Okay, so let's move on to the next example of today's lesson, right? Let's look at this. What if we have negative 5x squared plus 2x minus 3, right? So since the coefficient of x squared is not positive 1, so hence we need to take out the negative 5. Okay, then we left x squared. Here minus 2 over 5x, okay, because negative 5 times negative 2 over 5 will give us positive 2, right? After we cut off the 5, then the last part will be plus 3 over 5, right? Negative 5 times 3 over 5 is negative 3, right? So hence we may apply the formula, right? So we can start to put bracket square x minus, so this part 2 over 5 divided by 2, right? This part 2 over 5 divided by 2, you will get 1 over 5. Then after square is minus, 1 square is 1, 5 square is 25, then plus 3 over 5, right? Then we can simplify it. S minus 1 over 5 square, negative 1 over 25 plus 3 over 5, you will get positive 14 over 25, right? Then next we may expand it, become negative 5, bracket x minus 1 over 5 square, then expand again, negative 5 times positive 14 over 25, so you will cut this, you will get negative 14 over 5. Right, so our this one is maximum point, right? Because it's negative, then people will feel sad, right? So maximum point, and the point is so high, right? So this is maximum point. Maximum point equals to, we make this become 0 to find x, right? So we get 1 over 5 and negative 14 over 5. And this is our y-intercept, which is negative 3. Okay, so next step, we can start to draw the graph, right? So here and here, x and y, here 0, and this is 1 over 5. Negative 14 over 5 is somewhere here, right? And last one, negative 3. So negative 14 over 5 is approximately equals to negative 2.8, right? So hence negative 3 is downwards here. Then we draw the dotted line here. Then this is the point, maximum point, and this one will pass through the negative 3. So this is our graph, which is in N shape, right? So next part, actually I've prepared some questions, so to let you all to have a practice, right? As we know, practice makes perfect. Let's look at the exercise here. Okay, yeah, so here, so we have 3 questions here, so to let you all to sketch the graph by using completing the square, right? So yeah, let's do all this and happy trying.
Here comes to the end of this episode. If you like this video, like it, share it with your friends, and most importantly is subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. I will see you on next episode. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye.